Helps if I add myself to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dip a Toe, Faces of Crypto series, where we plunge into the heart of the blockchain revolution, uncovering stories, strategies, and visionaries shaping the future of Web3. Tonight, we're bringing you an incredible, absolute blockbuster of an episode packed with four incredible voices from the crypto cosmos, storytellers, educators, artists, and warriors, all here to unpack the wild, transformative world of digital finance and beyond. Get ready for a show that's equal parts inspiration, education, and pure crypto fire. Welcome to Dip a Toe. How's everybody doing this evening? I'm solo tonight. If you didn't notice, our Simon's not here. Unfortunately, he's not feeling so hot, but hopefully he's going to be back next week in tip-top, tippity-top shape. But I do want to welcome everybody that's in the chat. If you're not already subscribed to the Dip a Toe channel, please subscribe, hit that like button, and share this out with your friends, because tonight, guys, we've got a lineup that's nothing short of legendary. And I do mean legendary. Let's see, who do we got in the house this evening? I noticed right away, XR Papa's in the house, and Silver Days, and MKP, and Miss Kita. Welcome to the Dip a Toe Show. We got Fishing with Camo Joe and Megan T. I hope you're feeling better, lady. I feel terrible that you're not feeling well. Who else we have? We have Corn. Ryan, welcome to Dip a Toe. Susan Roblin, Edward, Bradley, you guys, thank you so much. XRP Renegades in the house. He says, good evening, everybody. Let's dip a toe. John, you're a new one. Welcome to Dip a Toe. Thank you so much for coming. And Crypto Glamma, I love you, lady. Scott E., thank you for showing up. We appreciate you. Guys, this is going to be a wonderful show. It's going to be a packed 2-hour show. Tonight we have Shueyb Khan is the mastermind behind the Adventures of King Shirar. It's a book weaving epic tales inspired by Hedera's H-Suite network, with chapter 2 fresh on Barnes & Noble shelves tonight. That's right, guys. Today it was released to on the Barnes & Noble shelves. You can buy it. He's blending fantasy with Web3 gaming and DeFi, rallying the barbarians across Hedera and XRP Ledger with his storytelling swagger. Next up, we have Marvin Davis. He's the calm force of Cryptotherapy 589 on YouTube. He's here to guide us through crypto's chaos with practical, do-your-own research-driven wisdom, from hyping XRP breakouts on X to networking at XRP Army meetups. He's all about safe, smart moves in the blockchain jungle. And then we have Mr. MoonManT, our Web3 Jedi and creator of the universe. He's shaking up the XRP ledger with tokenized music and NFT collections, streaming live on IMU TV, and powering NFT Tempo's royalty revolution. Fresh from his ascension from 2325 mini documentary, he's here to drop some cosmic insights and freestyle vibes. And finally, joining us in the second hour, we have the one and only BRZRKR. BRZRKR is the creator and co-host of Coffee Time and the Boardroom with our friend Uncle Buster, who's been on Dipato's show before. He brings his early adopter XRP passion and high-octane education. From 2021's BRZRKR's Bullish Minute to the weekly YouTube streams, he's rallying the chosen ones with infectious energy. So, guys, from epic narratives to grounded strategies, soulful beats to bullish battles, this Faces of Crypto panel is set to ignite your imagination and arm you with insights. So let's light up the stage and please welcome Shueyb, Marvin, Mr. MoonManT, and later we'll get BRZRKR in here. So let's get everybody up on the stage. Gentlemen, welcome to Dipato. How are you doing this evening?
Salute.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Appreciate that.
Huh? If you guys heard that song, Salute. I think it's like 24 Hours Crypto created that with the salute. I love that song so much. It's such a great song. But yeah, welcome to Dipato. I thought what we do first is to kind of go around. We'll start with Shueyb. Shueyb, tell us about yourself and what drives you in the crypto and storytelling space.
Oh, thanks for having me, Melissa. Nice to meet everybody, MoonManT and Marvin. It's good to share the stage with you guys. It's what a journey. I have to say, especially in crypto, we all started somewhere. My journey began in 2020. So that's when the whole NFT scene on Ethereum, it started, and I'm like, let me dabble on here, and then with Binance, Binance smart chain happened, and people were trading meme tokens. So that's where I started, and sadly, I got my wallet drained. So I had an NFT on MetaMask, and I had about a $15,000 portfolio at the time in MetaMask. And I accepted an offer for an NFT on Ethereum, not knowing that it was maliciously altered. Whatever they do, hacks, right, of smart contracts. So I ended up accepting it directly on the OpenSea's platform, and they just drained my entire wallet within a matter of I think an hour or two it was. And I didn't even know. It was I didn't know what was happening, and then I figured out what happened. And but that was the wild, wild west, and we kind of still are in the wild, wild west of crypto. But I was so disheartened by that. I was like, you know what? If this is the future, I probably don't want anything to do with it, because I'm going to get more money lost in the future if this is the direction we're going. And they were experimenting with smart contracts and programmability, and it was important, right? You have the first runners in crypto, people who actually innovate, and then you just got to iron out all the kinks and stuff, and that's what they were doing back then. And people did lose a lot of money, but it was fun. People did make a lot of money. I did make money, but I think I probably broke even altogether at the end of the day. But I decided, I'm like, you know what? I'll probably just take a break from this, and it might not be for me, right? And then maybe it was a year later, I started researching, different blockchains and different ecosystems and technologies, and I found Hedera, and this Hashgraph, something that can't be hacked, and something so secure, and this is the future. It's not blockchain; it's a whole different technology. And I'm like, okay, let's take a look. And I really didn't find a true home there until I started research some projects that were building on Hedera. And there was one specifically called H-Suite. And why I resonated with them so much was because they have an alternative to smart contracts. And when I was the forensics, they were doing investigation on what happened with my wallet, and they told me that it was a smart contract flaw that caused you to get your wallet drained. I'm like, okay, this is an alternative to smart contracts that these people are building. Let me look into that. So that's how I kind of got back into it. I'm like, this is what I see. I definitely see a future with this technology for sure, because we want something where people can trust, and your funds are safe, and you don't have to worry about, like, when you sign into your bank account, it's not like somebody's gonna get access to it, take your money out. You have to envision the future and build the future that we see. So I found a home there. And turns out that the same team also came out with King Shirar. So they kind of had this idea of this, King Shirar character. And he was initially like, he is a meme token, but that's all he was. Executive guy, and then in 2024, they rebranded him as a king. And then when I saw that rebrand, and I saw that, that this King Shirar is actually somebody that you can actually brand for children, and you can actually make him a role model. I saw that right away. And I asked the team, I'm like, hey, can I, run with this? I see something, a future. King Shirar could really, be in every household, and he can really, positively impact people's lives, children especially. So I'm like, just let me have a shot at this. And then, I guess they had their team meeting, and then they said, you know what, we'll give you a thumbs up, do whatever you have to do. And then, we thought of the book idea, and then it took a while to come up with the whole concept. And then towards the end of 2024, I think it was September 2024, the first chapter was published. So I basically, launched the first chapter, and that's called The Adventures of King Shirar, Chapter 1, The Peculiar Peeps. So it's a wonderful book, and we've already sold almost 50% of the copies that we ordered. We ordered over 1,000, and it's ending up in people's homes. It's just one day at a time. And the thing is, the whole purpose is to improve to children's lives, to make them actually reach their potential and fulfill the purpose that they were brought in this world for. Because you know what, each and every single one of us is brought here for a reason. Why were we born in this time frame, right? In 2000s, right? Why weren't we here in the 1800s, 1700s? Our souls, our being was brought here at this time for a purpose, right? And we're supposed to do great things, each and every one of us. But sadly, you see a lot of people, they're just living their day-to-day lives. Years go by, and what they were really truly brought in this world for, they don't fulfill it. They go and they don't follow their love, they don't follow their passion. So that's, I think that's the biggest travesty, right? Somebody can experience in their life. So, and I don't want that for our future generation. Yeah,
I have a question. So were you always a writer? Have you? Is that what you do, or is this a new venture for you, writing a book?
It's interesting because I wanted to write a book over a decade ago. So I wrote my first book over 10 years ago, but I did not, publish it. I didn't get an illustrator or anything. It was called My Name is Sam. So it was a story of a boy who's it could represent everybody, and in the end of the story, it basically is like, look in the mirror next to me. What is the image that you see? Who is the image that you see? So basically, the concept was that we're all the same. If you look in the mirror, we should see each and every one of us, right? And we shouldn't be divided. We should be more united. And so that was the whole purpose behind that book. That was like the kind of moral lessons and what we were trying to put forward. And but I haven't. This funny thing is that was my first book I wrote, but I haven't illustrated it. I haven't launched it. I haven't published it. But the funny thing is that, my first book was meant to be this book,
Yep.
But, and I was meant to do this. But, I mean, I grew up as an entertainer, a performer. Like, I love to sing. I used to dance and perform on stage in front of thousands of people. And this is what I love to do. This is my passion, right? But then with a family, with children, I couldn't see a future in that. It's just, it would have taken away from like the peace that I wanted, as a family man and and a father and a spouse. So yeah, I took this direction, and I'm with my son. I just picked him up from baseball. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we took this direction, and I'm like, I could still fulfill my gifts and my talents in this avenue, in this way, as a book writer. So I used to write songs, right? I always had this imagination, and I just put it all together, and they all came together, and it became a reality last year. So really exciting.
Super cool, because you and Mr. MoonManT got a lot in common, it sounds like.
Yeah, I was actually reading Mr. MoonManT. I was like, you know what, we can really connect, and
yeah,
and the thing is, we're actually trying to work on a soundtrack, like a Disney themed soundtrack for King Shirar. So yeah, that's basically the next steps here. But the second book just got launched, so it's on Barnes and Nobles, and it's on like various retailers around the world, and that is actually specifically for the XRPL community. So it's basically featuring a few different projects that I saw that maybe they can run with the children's theme and create a whole brand out of their project. And I saw that, I'm like, let's introduce them in the book. So the whole storyline kind of circles around their project, around the moral, and it's about two brothers. And I, in the image of my two children, I have my son. His name is Musa and Isa. So and it's called the Chi Brothers. So it's interesting because the story is kind of based on a true story, based off of the founders of King Shirar, who also created Smart Node technology, which is the alternative to smart contracts. So their names are Tomachi and Topachi. So the Chi Brothers. So basically, the story is about how they're basically bringing two worlds, uniting two worlds together, and there's a big, amazing adventure, very entertaining actually, that they go through along the way. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys, and we just launched today. Or actually, it was yesterday or today. I found out about it today that it was launched, so I sent you a message. But yeah,
congratulations. I did post the link in the chat for those of you who are interested in checking that out. And we're going to talk more about that here in a minute. I want to get Marvin Davis in the hot seat. Marvin Davis, who are you and what fuels your crypto journey? Welcome to Dipito.
Thank you for having me. First off, sad that Simon couldn't be here to enjoy this evening with us, but I'm Marvin Davis. I'm 1/3 of Crypto Therapy 589, also under the umbrella of Fuma Boys. What drives me in crypto is one word: opportunity. And opportunity doesn't just stop with me. When I realized the opportunity that I had to affect others and inspire others and motivate others, with this opportunity in this space, it was all gas and no brakes, as my cousin Jay Henry would say. So it was just the opportunity is endless in this space, and every day I learn something new in this space. Every day I meet somebody new in this space, right? So it's the chats, it's the live videos. I do this 24/7. This is what I do. This is what I like to do, what I love to do at this current time because of the opportunity. So that's me in a nutshell in crypto is just one word: opportunity.
How long have you been in crypto, Marvin?
Well, I got in January 4th, 2021. And the way I got in was I had talked to my younger cousin about investing in 2017. And it wasn't into crypto. It was just, I asked him what he knew about stocks, or penny stocks to be exact. And he said he didn't know much. And he said, when I find something out, I'll get back to you. Well, 2021, 4 years later, he got back to me. And it was with a crypto currency called Dogecoin. But he didn't know the name. He called it Doggy Coin, Doji Coin, every name every red flag under the banner that would make you run, right? He said every word that you would think of to make you run. But I said, how do I get it? And let's go from there. So I dove in, blinded, into this space. But I'm glad I did. Now, what I did was 6 months into my crypto journey, I understood I didn't know what I was doing. I got it, right? I understood that. So what I told myself was, give yourself 6 more months. If you can't figure it out, give it back to the crypto. I mean, the crypto geeks is what I was calling at the time, the computer geeks and the game, the PC gamers. Give it back to them, right? Yep. Take your money back out because you don't know what you're doing. You don't understand it. Yep. So that 6 months turned into a year of me telling my family, my parents, my children, my siblings, that I wasn't going to be able to afford to buy Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, cook, do anything, because I was diving head first and I was locking myself into my apartment to learn this this thing. And if I didn't find anything within 6 months, I was out. Well, that 6 months turned into 4.5 years, roughly now. So, you know, let's just say I found something. It was real. I'm still here. And that's what drives me.
Man, I have to say, I found you. I am a longtime listener of both Coffee Time with Berserker and Uncle Buster and the Boardroom. And I saw you in those chats. I saw you in those chats, and I saw you on screen because they have a very open show. And things that you were saying, you were schooling these kids. You know, I call them kids because I'm older. I'm a little bit older than a lot of these people. And, you know, the things, the education aspect of it, the patience, the do your own research, all of the things that you were telling these young men, and mostly men going, you know, young men go to Coffee Time and the Boardroom. There's some females, like shout out to Nina Blossom.
Shout out to Nina Blossom.
Yeah, Nina Blossom.
Yes.
But yeah, it really resonated with me. Your diligence in encouraging everyone to do their own research and understand. And you know what you just said, like you gave yourself 6 months. You said, I need to understand what I'm doing here. That's the whole thing of this dip a toe show, Marvin. I mean, you are dip a toe in real world, in real world implementation. You're a dip a toer. I'm curious. So you have a new channel, Crypto Therapy 589, and you emphasize safe participation, do your own research. What's a key lesson for newcomers to avoid pitfalls in crypto, especially with projects like XRP? Even like that's a solid project. But what do you have to say about that?
It's just to be patient. Learn patience first. That's probably the key to life is patience. You have to have patience with your kids. You have to have patience with other people in life. And you cannot, for myself, I don't separate crypto from anything else that I do in my life. And I take crypto serious because it's a part of my life now, right? So what I try to tell, you know, young people is don't come into this space thinking you're walking into a gas station or a casino and giving somebody your money for a card or scratch off, receiving a microwave result, because as soon as you walk out the door, that microwavable result that you were looking for is gone. And crypto, as long as you do your research, do the due diligence and learn what you're putting your money into and understand that this is real money, this is a real space and not a game, then you'll be okay. The other thing is to ask questions. There's no dumb question. The only dumb question is the one you didn't ask, right? So ask the questions. This is what I did. I didn't care who it was. I asked, right? Because I wanted to know. And the things that I didn't, the other thing I understand is you have all these smart devices at your fingertips. Use them for what they were created for. You know, like the brother just said, we have so much potential, but we only use about 10% of it in life, period. So it's just, you know, treat this as if, you know, it was the last thing that you ever ran across, you know, in your life, your last opportunity, because really it is. It's your first opportunity and your last opportunity. A lot of us have begged for this type of opportunity, and a lot of us are squandering it away. We're not taking it as serious as we should. You get what I'm saying? So you only have a small amount of time to get yourself in position, but be patient. Don't jump on everything that's shiny. Get a mentor. It's probably the best advice I could give you. Find somebody that doesn't do this for money, that's not going to charge you, but find somebody that will patiently talk to you and walk you through it, that has been through the trials and the tribulations, that have lost money. You get what I'm saying? That have bought the different things that are no longer here, right? So it's just being patient. It's probably, and become an investor and stop gambling. You get what I'm saying? So most people in this space are throwing money at the wall, hoping it sticks. And that's not how this works. You have to have the patience in this space.
Amen to that. Yeah. And the one thing that I think, Marvin, is we've been beta testing this for years now. We've made a lot of mistakes, and we're creating these networks of people that can answer your questions. And you just have to have the courage to ask those questions. Watch how people are moving in this space, and align you with people that are doing their due diligence, like you say, and asking those important questions, recognizing that you don't know everything, right? And I mean, and that's one of the things I really love about you, is that you don't act like you know everything. You're learning something new every day. And if you don't know something, you say you don't know it. And I think that's one of the most important things and gifts that we can give ourselves, is to recognize that we don't know everything, but to have the courage to dip our toes into things that we don't understand and reach out to those people that are trying to help you learn. So kudos to you on your new. I'm a subscriber. If you're not subscribed to the 589, what is it? 589 therapy.
Crypto Therapy 589. I'll give you a short story on how that came about. We started out on Fuma Boy's channel with my brother Fuma, and I was having one of those man cave nights, and I was just brainstorming because I wanted a name that represented me, Nina Blossom, and our brother Fuma Boy. I wanted it to represent crypto, the space and the family as a whole. So crypto, we're all in crypto, right?
Yep.
Crypto is therapeutic. When you talk to other people in crypto, it's therapeutic, because day to day we have down our family and friends that listen to us. They all think we crazy. So it's therapeutic when we can sit and talk for hours with people that get it, right? So that's where the therapy side comes from. But all of us, even though we want bigger bags and more bags of crypto, we also need the therapy part. We need to talk. We need to be listened to. We need to listen to somebody else also. And then Fuma put the 589 spin on it, which if you're in the XRP army, you know what the 589 represents.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Yep. So, yeah, I'm really proud of you. It's a great show, you guys. If you're not subscribed, definitely check that out. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit more. I want to get Mr. MoonManT's story in here. As the Web3 Jedi and creator of the universe, tell us about your cosmic path in crypto. Here's the thing. I know you're tokenizing music on the XRP ledger, and you're streaming on IMU TV. So I know you got quite a story to tell us, Mr. MoonManT. Welcome to Dip a Toe.
Thank you for having me. It means the absolute world to me, seriously. I could jump in. I mean, in the beginning of my career in regards to Web3, it started in 2017. I was a XRP holder, avid XRP holder. Like I was in like the war between XRP and Ethereum. But I've seen that in regards to NFTs and my music and what I wanted to express, there wasn't much of a community on the XRPL in regards to NFTs, not yet at least. So I seen that all the volume was on Ethereum. So I was like, hey, look, I got to go to Ethereum, even though I'm like kind of like, I don't like Ethereum, but I ended up getting on Ethereum. But before that, I kind of fast forwarded. I got introduced to NFTs by a man named Justin Aversano. He shot a photography project called Twin Flames. Me and my twin brother were a part of it. He shot 100 sets of twins on the Ethereum blockchain. It is still and has been the highest grossing photography NFT project ever.
Oh,
yeah,
how cool.
So we were stamped in that in 2018. Then in 2019, he created I think it was 2020. He created a digital curation platform called Quantum Art, and hired me to be the community manager and article writer and all that stuff. So that was like the beginning of my Web3 in regards to NFTs, but I was always an XRP holder since 2017. The early days, the real
old school. Yeah.
OG. So it's been a very long journey, regardless of like the NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain, but to watch the progression of the XRPL and how people are minting it now. We got XRP Cafe, you got Bids, you got these different platforms that are allowing us. Sonar Muse, shout out to Sonar Muse, IMU TV, that are building. And I got to watch it like from the background, almost like a spy, almost like waiting for the XRPL to pop in a way that was going to helped me boost my career. But really quickly, I am a singer, songwriter, hip hop artist, and an author. More importantly, I help souls remember the reason why we are on the planet Earth. And that's really my job. And that bleeds into the music. It bleeds into my TikTok, which I have about 60,000 followers on TikTok. And I go live daily and talk about the nature of reality, quantum physics, and all the woo-woo stuff. And I'm trying to bring all that on chain as well. And here I am with the music, and I've minted plenty of stuff on XRP Cafe, link in my bio, all things MoonManT. And yeah, I'm just excited for the future. I'm excited for blockchain just in general, because for me, it just screams sovereignty. So that makes me happy.
Man, tell us a little bit. So you're tokenizing music on the XRP ledger. How do music NFTs? How do you think music NFTs are going to transform the industry? What do you think? How's that working out? Like, you're obviously, so anybody that is in this early, we're all kind of beta testing this stuff. We're trying to see what works, what doesn't work. You know, we don't have the mass appeal yet of people even understanding what an NFT is.
Yeah.
And so you're like a pioneer to have what year was the first year you had a music NFT?
Oh man, I want to say 2021, but I know for a fact 2023 I dropped the first music NFT video on the XRPL. So I do have the first music video on the XRPL, so that's exciting. But 2021 I started minting on Ethereum on OpenSea, but it wasn't really catering to musicians. It was just like kind of like the beginning type of energy. But to answer your question, I think every sector of our reality in regards to creativity has been shaken. And I think in a proverbial way, everybody's like standing in the rubble of all of Hollywood and art and movies and all of that. And they don't know where to go. And I know where they should be, which is Web3. And I think that's where, when people look around for somewhere to put their creative works, they're going to be looking for somewhere with sovereignty, somewhere where they feel like they're not, they don't have to go through the middleman like most traditional artists have. And I think that Web3 provides that for all of us. And there's room for all of us. And everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's on the panel, we are extremely early to the party, and we should pat ourselves on the back no matter when you got in.
Man, no kidding. Yeah, thank you to the 118 of you that are in the chat. There's a lot of people. I can see all three of you have got fans in the chat. It's so hard. One person looking at everything, but yeah, you guys are very popular, folks. They know who you are. Shout out to Stone. Mo Zerps is in the house tonight. Miss Connie. Real Slim to Boss, who's also on IMU TV, Nova Cryptos, and Yogi is in here. Yeah, we picked up quite Big Bro 10. How you doing, lady? Scott E. Native Blossoms in the house. Yeah, and Cosmic Mama Shay, our good friend, is in here as well. So you're streaming on IMU TV as well now. How's that going for you?
It's amazing. I mean, cool. I think that being a part of something like that is transformative, because again, they're like pushing the boundaries of traditional media, and to be like one of the first, to be on it. I'm not the first, but I'm one of the first to be on it. And but man, I'm just excited. I see my music videos. I'm seeing they're signing new, or they're getting signed to different countries every week, and it's like, the amount of promotion that can come from this, the amount of recognition that can come from this for independent artists, especially because it's been hard for us in the Web2 space, right? To generate revenue. In the past 6 months, I've made more money off of Web3 than in my entire music career, right? So literally, like in the Web2 space. So like Spotify, iTunes, if you add all that up, I've made more money in the last 6 months in NFTs. So it's night and day, and projects like IMU TV are just making it easier for us. Revenue sharing and ads, and it's going to be insane once people actually see that they're they've really been fighting for popularity as opposed to monetary gain for their art. So
man, so you just tapped into something. I was going to ask a different question, but you just tapped into something that's huge that I think all three of you can speak to. So you said you've made the most that you've ever made in the Web3 space, and you mentioned the different platforms, particularly in music and art, and that there's always that third party wanting to take that cut and cut in ownership, right? Or we're using these platforms, we're giving them our data. That's the currency that they're taking from us in order for us to use the YouTubes, the Spotifys, the Facebooks, the whatever you want to say. And with Web3, there's so many people working in the background, like Niall Cottrell and Robin Fitzy from IMU TV, that are really providing the information for the artists, not just the music artists, not just the artist. Dipito is the first crypto education content that's streaming live, or we've had our videos on IMU TV for quite some time now. And this is probably our fourth or fifth show where we're streaming. And I think they're up to 29 countries and soon to be on Apple TV. And once that hits, guys, it's going to open up our shows, our songs, our creations to the world, to a whole nother audience than what you're able to reach, and really freely, just to anybody coming across that channel. It's not going to cost them anything to watch it. It's not costing you anything to participate. It's fantastic. What I would like each one of you to speak to, and I want to go Shueyb, Marvin, and then Mr. MoonManT. Tell me what you think that this Web3 opportunity and the decentralized crypto space has to offer you in terms of being a creator, or even an end user of something. Like Shueyb, you're writing a book. And you have the capability of tokenizing that book. Where do you see this going for people like yourself? Can you hear me? He might not be able to. Oh,
yeah.
There he is.
Hey, sorry. Yeah.
No worries.
I just
He's got kids in the background, guys. That's life. This is the Dipito Show is all about real life, real people. So.
I was, I didn't, I'm sorry, guys, but for the background noise, but yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, these are my kids. Yeah.
Hello, kids. Welcome to Dipito. Daddy's on TV.
It's amazing. This is, I don't even know where to start. Like, they're the inspiration, for the book and for everything now, it's so, and definitely the morals, and I want good content. That was like also a really big thing with the way the world has been. We want to give our children like the best content. And even the first book, for example, like the quote is that it's dedicated, and I did, I had a choice to dedicate it to like my children, but I'm like, I want to dedicate it to all the children in the world and those of us who are children at heart. And that each and every one of us is included in that. So, because, to be honest, we should strive to be like children at heart. I mean, they're the most purest beings, out there. They love everything, everybody, and they have no like biases. They don't have nothing. They're just pure souls. So if adults can be like children in that regard, then I think that's what we should shoot for and aim for. And that's why I dedicated the first book to everybody.
Where do you see the opportunity for revenue for stuff like this in terms of not having to pay that middleman and being able to tokenize your projects in the future? What do you think about that, being an early adopter of this technology?
Absolutely. And honestly, like Mario was saying, it's about opportunity, and you really have to figure out where the revenue is at the moment. And definitely, if Web3 is the future, But as far as revenue wise, it's the best way for us to launch our product right now was to do it the traditional way. To have it, so when readers see the book, they just see a very colorful, amazing book, great content, a good story, and just good moral lesson. And then the cryptocurrency, the Web3 decentralized element can always be added into it, right? So and that's what we're shooting for, because we actually submitted to the libraries now. Now that we're in Barnes and Nobles, we'll be in libraries. And now finally, like, this is what I was waiting for. Now we can actually perform for children, for the audience on stage. And that's, what I was really looking forward to. And like right now, like the books have been selling, but it's more of an impulse buy. People see the book, they're like, oh, wow, I love this. The child says that, yo, mommy, daddy, can I have this book? And then they buy it. So that's how it's been selling, and we've been selling a lot of them, so it's been really good. And now the second one, I'm so excited for the second one, because not only does it represent the XRPL community, or Ripple. I mean, the background of the cover page, you'll see Ripple Bank in the back, so we're kind of foreshadowing like the future, because we know that Ripple Bank is coming soon. And so we just wanted to highlight that in the book, and then also just acknowledge and also bring in some of the projects that are building. We have Optimistic Prime. She has the Blue Umbrella Project. Amazing. I mean, these are really amazing initiatives for children, for education, just to, to build this brand. We wanted to give some of these projects a platform. We have X Meme by Stone. We have XRP Man, X Emojis, and yeah, there was many in there, and Alpha Wolves. And I'm part of the Alpha Wolf community, the X on XRPL project on X on XRP. So that's basically where my home is on the XRPL. And so we're kind of working with H Suite or Hub Suite from Hedera and the XRPL community, and try to bring this technology onto the XRPL, because we all talk about programmability on the XRPL, and it's important, and they have this solution. So because, and it's funny because, I mean, I really believe, and we were talking about this earlier about God's timing. Timing couldn't be better. You just do what you have to do, work hard, and leave the timing when things are going to happen to him, up there. That's it. I mean, what else can you do, right? And just have that conviction, and just keep at it, and everything will line up into place, just like is happening with this book. I mean, just before the show, I'm finding out that it's on Barnes and Nobles, and now we're going to be able to do these performances, and so I submitted it to. Barnes and Nobles all over the U.S. So they have like stages in many of the selected ones where authors can come for book signings, and they can do performances. And the whole concept behind this book is for performing. Like, we want to entertain the kids and teach them like what are the lessons from the book. And just like the Chi brothers, find what your passion is, find what you love and what you're good at, and just go to the stars with that, right? Be the best version of yourself that you can be. Find your purpose and go with it, run with it, and we want the best leaders for the future. So that's why we want to focus on the children, because they're going to be the leaders of the future. 50 years, we're all going to be gone. We're not going to be in existence, right? But what we leave behind, and the world that we leave behind for our children, is so important. So we want the best leaders, and this is kind of a small initiative that we're doing for the kids.
It's powerful, my friend. It's powerful. Yeah. Mr. Marvin Davis, what do you think in terms of the opportunity to be able to tokenize these things? What do you think about it?
Well, that's the big part of what I keep trying to explain to different people that I try to share crypto with, is the tokenization of everything, right? But to just go back a little bit, it's also what had me excited is being able to cut the middleman out and, receive the benefits that we all work hard for. The other thing is, I always tell people in this space that I'm not doing this for me, right? I'm doing this for my children and for their children, right? It's for them. This is the other thing about that, is our children and grandchildren were all raised on this technology. They were raised digitally. We were raised in the analog space. This space is ripe for them. Why not teach them this now so it benefits them, like this brother just said, when we're gone? You know what I'm saying? So it's just preparing the next generations, for what's coming, because nobody prepared us. I think the thing I love so much about this space the XRP Army, is we are all so willing to share with each other for nothing. Back in the day, you had to know somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody that had the newspaper, that was going to New York, that had a connection in New York to invest your money, and you hope you get it back.
Yep.
The best opportunity in this space is you can do it all yourself. But the patience and the faith, that comes from you. I can't give you that. Melissa can't give it to you. These brothers can't give it to you. You got to earn it on your own. You got to learn where that comes from and ask the man up above, you know, what he has for you and what he wants you to do. Ultimately, your life is not your life. You know what I'm saying? He put you here for a reason. So
Man,
the opportunity is great if you take the proper position, you know what I'm saying, that allows you to give back. So it's all about giving back.
Man, powerful words, Marvin Davis. I agree 100%. The children are the future. And the fact that, you know, whether you're tokenizing the books at this early stage or not, you're educating them early. You're putting the ideas in their minds to get them to start asking those questions. And we all know that when kids ask questions, they absorb it a lot faster than we do as older people. So, you know, through books and song and vision and all of those things, it's fantastic to know that there are people out there that are creating it or supporting it, encouraging it, that sort of thing. For the littles, it's so important. Mr. MoonManT, back to, so my original question is really the opportunity. Where do you see the opportunity with this Web3 space? And you know, you as a creator, you brought up making more money than you ever did the whole time in Web2. Can you speak to why you think that is? And then, of course, if you want to touch on the humanity kids aspect of it too, I'm sure you have thoughts on that as well.
I think the one thread that we see that's woven through even this conversation is a belief in the higher power. The Most High is what some of us call it, and we're clearly in alignment with that. And I think that that's what I found within the crypto space for the most part. Obviously, there's bad actors, but for the most part, sovereign souls have been led to the blockchain. Why? Because there's a level of sovereignty that we've been searching for, and we couldn't find it, whether it be in traditional banking, whether it be in music, whether it be in whatever we do as artists. And I think that this is the moment, and we all feel in our bones, and I know you feel it, that there's a shift that's occurring on the planet, not just with finance, not just with our earthly stories, but there's something way bigger, way deeper that we're all, it's just right above the noise, right? And I think that this is a part of that. I think that this is the financial part of that, and then you'll have a political part of that, and then our world is changing for the better. And I think that Web3 enables artists like myself to be free, to not have to be incentivized to do this or do that, or I got to change my message because they don't want this type of message to get across to the masses. And that's my thing. If you listen to my music, I'm speaking about the nature of reality. And in that, it's in the mainstream world, is not going to be something that's accepted. So I'd have to ultimately change myself to make the money. And yeah, man, it's something that it speaks to my heart, speaks to my soul. And I think this is why we're here. So I'm happy to be a part of it. And like these fine gentlemen have said, the same thing, we're really one soul, it feels like. And it's like, I'm expressing it this way and Marvin's expressing it that way. And like, you know what I mean? So it's beautiful to witness, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Man, this is the thing, you know, Simon and I talk about it all the time too. And, you know, all of the guests that have come on, we all feel like we've been drawn to it. We've been given the sight. We have the eyes to see what this is. And you're right. It's so much bigger than money. It's so much bigger than that. You know, the sovereignty aspect of it is just huge. But when you start exploring that, it is recognizing how powerful you are, you know, and having that relationship with the creator, having your own personalized relationship with them, and recognizing you know, like I said, how powerful you are and the gifts that you were given, and they're meant to be shared. And the thing that impresses me so much about this space is all the people that's being drawn to me are like you guys. You are so willing to share. Every single person that we've asked to be on Dip a Toe Show, we've asked you for a reason. Why? Because we've seen you, we see you, and your faces, your vision, your awesomeness deserves to be spotlighted. And I fully expect that every one of you are going to be like a more household name than you even realize right now, you know, because we are so early. And so, you know, it's just really, it's incredible. You guys, what do you, so you've been in there since 2020 or 2017. Marvin, I think you said 2021. Shueyb, you said I think 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. I think for myself, I was 2019. So we're kind of all over. What was the moment? Did you do you guys have a specific moment that you can remember as you're stumbling on this, to where you were like, holy smokes, I really need to understand this. I figured this stuff out, and this is an opportunity. And almost like, I almost feel like when I finally recognized it, I was like looking around going like, am I, like, I've just been told like this biggest secret, you know, and is this real? Yes, this is in fact real. And the more that I dove into it, the more my eyes were opened and I started meeting other people. So I'm just curious if you guys had a similar experience. And we can just, whoever wants to go first, just kind of chime in.
Yeah,
I did.
Okay,
Go
go
ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
You know, I think it was almost immediately when I was introduced to Web3 in regards to NFTs. I seen Justin, who was the photographer for Twin Flames. I seen him make a hell of a lot of money. It's up into the millions of dollars with his photography, which is something that's almost unheard of. He broke records in Christie's and Sotheby's, and I was in Christie's and Sotheby's, like me and my twins' picture, just like Babe Ruth right around the corner energy. So it's like, wait a minute, this can go far. This can go further than what I thought. And you know, when we have these channels, like we get these downloads from source, and it's like, you really got to pay attention to this, because something's going to come from this, right? You can be like your parents were, and just working away and not really aware that they had the ability to probably change their lives. But now we're like all age groups, all ranges, information's at our disposal, so we know, and we're not going to let this thing go by. So when I seen that, I'm like, there's no way that you're making millions of dollars off your art and I'm not in on it. Yeah, let me jump in and make sure I can provide freedom for myself and for my family.
Nice. Marvin?
Yeah, for me, it was a couple different things. When I first came in, I made a couple of critical mistakes, but I was green and I didn't know, right? So I told my cousin that got me into crypto, you know, what I had decided I was going to invest into Dogecoin. And at the time, Dogecoin was under a penny. And I had told him I was going to drop $1,500 on it the first month. And if I would have dropped the $1,500 the first month, I probably would have had like 150,000 tokens of Doge, which would have turned into like $138,000 at Doge's peak, right? So that was lesson number one, right? Now, within those first 2 weeks, you know, I got bored with the Doge. So what I did, I back up. I put $350 in instead of going with my first mind, because he told me don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I went with somebody else's plan instead of my own, because I didn't know. So then I came back the next month and I dropped another 300. So it gave me 650 in Dogecoin. And in 5 months, from January to May, that 650 went to 19,000. So what I said was I didn't put enough money into that one, and I need to follow my own plan, make my own plan. And the other thing is I needed to find 10 to 20 more Dogecoins. Right? Yeah. But what happened was looking for those other 10 to 20 Dogecoins, I ran across a 24-cent XRP on Robinhood. I couldn't buy it. I'm ex-military, right? I'm ex-Navy. So I want to know why I couldn't buy it. If you tell me no, I'm the type of person that's going to figure out how to do it anyway.
Right.
I'm one of those, right? So I read the white paper and I said they're being sued by the government. I went in, period. I knew nothing about XRP, nothing about Ripple. I just knew it was big if the government was suing it. There was a reason that the government was trying to block this company from being bought by American citizens. And when I found out only American citizens were being stopped, I said, okay. Now, it took me a year. I had that smart device in my pocket, and it still took me a year. Like Melissa said, kids get it faster than we do.
Yep.
It took me a year to finally get my cousin to give up his XRP Connect. And all the guy said was Uphold. When I bought my first XRP on Uphold, when I started diving and I started reading and I started listening, my whole mindset changed. And then I found the community. I consolidated every other thing that I had in crypto into XRP at that point. I bought nothing but XRP for like 10 months straight. If you made a video that said XRP and you mentioned XLM, I would cut your video off and go to another one. That's just how bone hard struck I was on finding out everything about XRP. But what I was really trying to do was find what was wrong with XRP. I couldn't find anything. The good always heavily outweighed the bad. And my aha was when I went outside and tried to tell everybody, nobody would listen. And I said, God, I can't be this smart. There's no way I'm the only one that gets it. There's no way, right? And still to this day, people still don't get it because people won't take the time to do the research. They'd rather watch the football game. I'll turn the game off any day nowadays. So that was my aha moment, just seeing the money and then actually seeing a real product that was going to do real world things. So what I came in looking for was something that was going to help the globe. What's going to help us globally? And I found XRP. Aha, I'm woke.
Yeah, as soon as you saw them suing them and all of that, and there's a lot of hype people and all of that in there too. And I was like you myself too, like what can I find that's wrong with this, right? Initially I came in it and through Bitcoin, and my Bitcoin friend said that's the banker's coin. You don't want to buy that, but the more that I studied and deep dived into it, I was like, man, this seems like some incredible tools for sovereignty, like the opposite of what I was being told. And I was just confused at how a lot of the super smart people that I really felt were super smart didn't see what I saw, and so I thought that was really interesting, that there was so many people against it. And that is the thing, like, but if you do your own research and you have the eyes to see, and it sounds like you guys are all the same, like no one's going to tell you different, right?
Well, like my sister Nina Blossom always says, I'm gonna quote two people, Nina Blossom and then XRP Bags. So Nina we've always agreed on this one thing, that it's spiritual, right? God dropped this in my lap. I'm sorry if you don't believe in God, but God dropped this in my lap, right? And XRP Bags always says you didn't get the download. So most people haven't received the download, and we believe the download is from the higher power. So it's more than just money to us. It's really spiritual. We really think that there's a reason that we were chosen. Everybody that's in this space, everybody that's listening, if you just got in today, you were chosen. That's just how I feel. That's my opinion. You don't have to like my opinion.
It is what it is, man, right?
XRP is all I can tell you. If you don't like what I'm saying, just keep stacking. Because I believe that, everybody's not going to get it. This is not for everybody. Everybody isn't meant to take on the responsibility that's coming. They say with great wealth comes great responsibility. Are you ready for that responsibility? Ask yourself that.
Man, guys, guess who's in the house? Huh? Let's get him in here. BRZRKR, welcome to the Devil Show. We did a fantastic introduction for you. And I told the gentleman, Mr. MoonManT, Marvin Davis, Shueyb's in here right now. His camera's off, but he'll be back in. Welcome to the Devil Show, BRZRKR. You always bring that BRZRKR energy. Can you tell us who you are and what's got you fired up in crypto?
Oh man, what's up, Marvin? How you doing? MoonManT, nice to meet you. And of course, Melissa, World Be Free, fabulous show. I appreciate you having me. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, coming in clear. You're like Mike TV on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You guys know that movie where he says, "Am I coming in clear?"
Yeah.
Love Willy Wonka.
He's in 1,000 bits in the air. Yeah. Oh, man, what did I miss? Man, I came in. Marvin's talking Chosen. Let's go.
You know how I do, bro.
Man, I love it. So, to answer your question, and keep it as quick and concise as possible. I'm relatively new early bird. So shout out, mad respect for you, MoonManT. You're one of the OGs, man. There's a few OGs that I know, and that was a whole nother world, man. I came in 2020, so like early, like right when, similar to the other gentleman that's also here, Shueyb, similar to him. I came in 2020, and it was as a result of woo woo. Like it was straight up like. I don't want to mess your show up, but the beer flu came in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Beer flu came in, and my brain just did a switch. It was like, oh my gosh, something's wrong.
Yeah,
like something's going on more than I think. And so that was the moment where I went and like woke up out of the the coffin in the Matrix where they're in that goop. You're plugged into and you're in the little pod, and you leap out of the goop, and you're waking up like Neo did in the Matrix in the movie, if you've seen it. But it was like that, and I didn't know who to talk to, and I knew a gentleman named Uncle Buster, and I've known him my whole Buster. I've known him my whole life. We grew up together on the same street, and his moms, my moms, we know each other. Used to, discipline each other as we were kids. His mom would yell at me if I did something wrong, and vice versa. And so we grew up. But I remember seeing some stuff on Facebook because he's been a Facebook friend, and I had a big Facebook following at the time because I am also a musician. I heard you guys talking about being musicians and stuff on the way home. Sorry I'm late. I was at work, so I just got home. I got a big.
We are glad you made it. We let everybody know that you were coming.
Yep. So being a big musician, I had a big Facebook following and stuff like locally where I'm at. I'm from California. I live in NorCal, so Sacramento area, born and raised. So because of that, I kind of didn't know who to really talk to or reach out to, but I had Facebook, and so I knew Uncle Buster was on Facebook dropping bombs because he was already woo-woo. He was already red pill. He was already awake. He was already like talking truth. And so I got on Facebook and I started seeing all these bombs he was dropping. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? What the? And I go back to the hood, go back to where we grew up. I go back to his house. I hit him up, knock on his door, hit him up on Facebook or something like that. I don't exactly remember because it was about 5 years ago, and he schools me on everything. All right, first you watch this. All right, get this out, bust this documentary out. Okay, you need to do this, and then do that, and then XRP. I was like, what? So it all just came at me like a flood, and so it was all due to Buster. And then as soon as I got on the books, I cracked the books open, so to speak. I got online, started doing research. I started doing all this stuff online. I went ham. And I don't know if you know the acronym HAM, hard as a,
Yep.
you get what I'm saying. I went ham. I went ham, like hard ham. And so that's why in this 5 short years, which has seemed like an eternity, but at the end of the day, it's also flown by. Kind of a weird.
Seriously.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I literally went from, 0 to 60, and I started meeting friends online, started chatting with people in the chats, much like, Marvin, and I imagine like MoonManT doing the research and going there and getting into these communities and stuff. And it all started on like a YouTube thing, because that's where I got all my information. I got all my info from like YouTube, and I started. So I'm very YouTube centric. I
YouTube University. That's what we say.
I am a graduate.
Well, we had a lot of, bro. I know we had a lot of changes too in these social media platforms over the years. I remember when Twitter was just nothing but trash. When what's his face owned it, the other guy, before Elon got it. It was, you were censored hardcore.
Jack.
And then Jack. And then you, it wasn't the mainstay. It was like Facebook, and it was like a mixture of things. Nowadays, everybody's on Twitter for red pill, woo woo, and crypto. It's all on Twitter. And so I don't want to sit there and toot like Elon Musk's horn, but at the end of the day, everything's centralized on Twitter because everything's allowed, so to speak. It's not censored. It's not, at least not super censored. I'll get into that later if we talk about it. But long story short, I get into it. I get into chats. I do something called where you get moderate. You have moderators on here, right? I see like Kita and yep. So you have the Blue Crew.
I borrowed it from you. I gave them wrenches because of the Blue Crew and the boardroom and coffee.
Shout out to the fam.
Yeah, man.
So I started hitting the ground running on YouTube, because the best way I can find to share my crazy cuckoo, I was crazy because when you start waking up, you feel like you're the odd man out. You feel alone. And I was looking for friends, drastically reaching out and all kinds of stuff. But it manifested itself in terms of like keyboard warrior, just getting online and just getting in shows and commenting and making friends in the chats. And then all of a sudden I got like a moderator status in one show. And then on another show, it'd be like I'd get another moderator status. I'd get another wrench. And before you know it, I was just like modded up everywhere. Like not everywhere, but a lot of the shows. Darren Moore. I wasn't on Alex Cobb, but I was like Darren Moore's mod. I was like, I think DAI had subscribed to me once I started my YouTube channel. And I just went ham. I just went nuts, and then started meeting people. Baggy, XRP Bags. Shout out to Bagman. If I wouldn't have been here at all if it weren't for Bags lifting me up, and he lifted all of us up in a way. Yeah. So Bagman, shouting with him in chats. Shout out to Auburn Rain. If you guys don't remember, Auburn Rain is an old school YouTuber for XRP Army, and he had his own little woo-woo channel too in YouTube. But during the censorship days, he got shut down. But whenever we mention Rain in the show, that's who that is. And so he's an old school XRP guy. And so shout out to him. He brought everybody together in the beginning, because we would be mods in these chats, and then he would have these private shows, private WebEx shows. He would use WebEx, and because right at the time, like I don't even think StreamYard was a thing, or if it was, it was really rudimentary.
It was very, very young.
And Zoom was bullshit, because that was the mainstream. Stay away from Zoom, Right. So we did WebEx, and so I think you were allowed to have like hundreds of people on it if you wanted to. But a group of us, a ragtag group of us, with like me, Baggy, Buster, like all the OGs, Crypto OG. Auburn Rain, Legendary, like a bunch of guys that come on the show now, on my show, on the YouTube show. They were all in there doing the same thing. We were all just like mods in different random XRP ledger channels. And we kind of made a group. And then one day I woke up, dude, and I was like, I had an epiphany. It was like a God-given thing. It was like a boom. Why don't you do a YouTube show? Because nobody's doing one. And the inspiration of that kind of subconsciously came from some old school. MoonManT might remember it. There was an old school show on YouTube called the Zoo, the XRP Zoo, and it was like James Malpass and Thousand Bones and a couple of like extremely dinosaur OGs, almost like MoonManT's era. And so these dudes were OGs, but it was like 4 or 5 of them, and they get on every week, and it was just the thing. And I was like, damn, well, you got to get like a group thing, because everybody's show, there was one moderator or one person running the show and nobody else was on. It was just one person, and they would talk and do their show, and that was it. They wouldn't let people on. It was just the chat and then the one person running the show. So most of the channels were like that. Long story short, I get an epiphany. I call Buster up. I go, bro, there's some like God idea I just had, bro. I was like, how about we start a show and we just let everybody on? Just go nuts. And that's what happened. It was just like, drop the link and just let them come. I don't care. We'll fucking figure it out. Oh, excuse my French. Sorry. We'll figure it out. I'm used to cussing a lot. I apologize.
I am too. It's
hard. It's hard. And especially if I get riled up. So
one thing I will say, and that, you know, your show with Uncle Buster.
Well, it's not with Uncle Buster. It's actually Buster's show, and it has been for years now.
Okay.
That's the real truth.
Uncle Buster's show, coffee time, and the boardroom. It's a very open dialogue. It's, you know, different. This is the thing. Different types of venues or messengers resonate with different kinds of folks, and but yet we're all able to come together and teach each other what we've learned, right? So the things that you've seen in the space might be similar or different than what MoonManT has seen, or what Shueyb's seen, and Marvin as well. And that is the beauty. That is the beauty of this entire space to me. We were talking before you got here about, you know, the fact that XRP Ledger, they're tokenizing of the assets, and, you know, the momentum that they're starting to get. You know, as we mentioned, MoonManT's got NFTs and music tokenized, and I don't know if you heard that he was part of like the first. What did you say, Mr. MoonManT? The twin project. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it's called Twin Flames. It's on the Ethereum blockchain by Justin Avasano. It's the highest grossing photography project, NFT project ever.
That's fire. That's like in the annals of like crypto history. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? We have significant people that come on the Dip a Toe show. That's what I said, like shining the light on everyone. I'm wondering what you're thinking, Berserker. How significant do you think it is, this Web3, the diversification, decentralized nature of the blockchain, being able to tokenize tokenize anything, whether it's a song, a movie, a book. Shueyb wrote a book that he'll be able to tokenize. Where do you see that going in the future for the ledger?
It's absolutely insane, and it's been it's kind of crazy to talk about it, because it reminds me of the early days of how excited I was when I was like, oh my gosh, NFTs, like non-fungible tokens. They're non-fungible, meaning they're immutable, they can't be changed, they represent something solid and permanent, can't be stolen, can't be none of that. It can be stolen, obviously, but it you know, I mean, the nature of NFTs, it literally just immortalizes any kind of value on blockchain. And so that it's still there, because we're like at the finish line at this point, because we spent so many years knowing what's coming for so long. It's hard to kind of open your heart back up and go, wow, like this is insane. NFTs are absolute. Every little bit of real world value is going to be tokenized. And when you hear that phrase, you've heard that multiple times throughout all the channels, and especially if you're in crypto, you've heard that phrase. What does it mean? Tokenization essentially is making an NFT out of everything, so to speak, because essentially an NFT is just a token. It's just another crypto, but they're specifically independent and unique. That's the difference between a bunch of crypto coins as far as like money, magic internet money, and NFTs. Those are more specific, and they represent a specific real world asset, or if it could be a digital asset, or digital or audible work and stuff like that, music. But man, the sky is literally the limit. And I think I was listening on the way home and I couldn't really join because I was in the car. I think MoonManT touched it. I remember MoonManT talking about a little bit earlier, saying that it's Web3 is where it's at. It's really where it's at as far as someone, the individual that doesn't have power, that's at the behest of the giant corporations. If you're a musician or something like that, you're literally you ain't getting nowhere. And if you do get popular, they're gonna rape you. They're gonna take your time, your portfolio. They're gonna take your what do you call that? Your what do they have that when that big group of songs that somebody has?
Collection?
Catalog. They're gonna jack that shit. They're gonna jack ownership. They're gonna jack ownership of the catalog. It's gonna be horrible. So, but that's what we know, and that's what we grew up in now. But when you go into the future, somebody could just straight up create their own stuff, lock, stock, and barrel. Got their own. They got their own system. They got it on one specific chain that they could run it. They have multiple choices. You can run it on all the chains. You could do. It's insane. And then you've got the mainstream stuff, the sources where people are pumping stuff now. I remember MoonManT saying SoundCloud and all that stuff that you don't get nowhere. But if you start rocking your own NFTs and you start producing your own stuff, like, you're making money. Like, so it's a nice futuristic thing to get into, and you can do it right now before the rest of the people get in. Because once it gets in, then the big corporations are going to come in, then they'll find a way to like slice off the top or something. I don't know. But
George just said something very, very important.
Yeah.
In this space, it's about being first.
Huh?
Ooh,
well, this is what I wanted to touch on. Because you're hitting the nail on the head. And MoonManT, since you are creating these NFTs, and I'm starting to learn more and more about NFTs, and the kind that you can change now. Someone has a collection. There was a conversation of, if you create an NFT, do you want somebody to sell it? Is it offensive if someone sells it? But the thing is that you can make it so that those have royalties associated with it. So say you create a song and I buy it, and then I listen to it, and then I'm like, hey, BRZRKR, I want you to buy it. You buy it from me. The chain goes on, right? I sell it to him for a little bit more. Now I've just lifted up the value of your song, that you're, what I mean? What you've created. Somebody now is willing to pay one XRP more. Let's just say it's $3 more, right, than they were when I bought it. Because when you're really putting something out there, you're kind of testing the waters, right, MoonManT? You don't know what someone's going to pay for it yet until they start buying it, and then let the magic happen. Am I off base, or am I close?
You're 1,000% correct. And when I first started, I started a very long time ago. So when I first started, people didn't know what to price their NFTs at. But what hurt for some artists, it's like a gift and a curse, because artists came from a place where they weren't getting any money. Then they went into NFTs and started making some money. But if I bought your piece for $200 and then I sold it for 10 grand, you're gonna be like, whoa, you're still gonna get you. It's like a game of gratitude. It's like the universe is like, stay grateful, because where you came from, you weren't able to get anything. You sold this for $200. Yes, he sold it for 10 grand, but now you get to level yourself up. Now you could start selling your stuff for $1,000, and it just continues to go on. But I think this is the reason why a lot of people complain about the sales of NFTs. But what's the point of having it up there? I want you to resell it. I want to get royalties up into infinity. Like, why wouldn't I want you to sell it for $1 million? Like, 1% of something is better than zero.
Sell it 1 million times. Every time you sell it, I still get paid.
Right.
Well, and this is the thing where I really think that we need more education as creators of NFTs and purchasers wanting to support this ecosystem, support the artists, the creators, and realizing that, when you purchase an NFT and you're the minting of them, this is the other thing. I've watched, I don't partake as much because I'm like Marvin, I dip my toes slow. I try to understand what's happening. before I go all crazy with it. But there are things that I want to support you guys, right? You're creating something. I want to support you. I didn't know what proper etiquette was, and so I started asking these questions like, I want to help you mint out your project. I mint it out. And then I see people turning around and selling them right away. And I was like, well, should I be doing that? And then I got to thinking about it. Me and my Ryan, we were driving one day. I had him trapped in the car, so I had him talking crypto against his will. But I said, shout out to Ryan. But he was really, just as somebody who's not even into crypto, was providing me some really valuable feedback. But it's like, you're right. You go from being an artist to where you're not really getting any money, or you're lucky if you get a couple pennies off of a sale that this big company is making oodles of money. Now you're able to actually sell your song for whatever price you put out there. Your fans, the people that support you, are going to purchase that. And then if they want to turn around and sell it, they make a little bit. You still get royalties from it. Your music is getting, so as we're educating ourselves in this space, we have to help educate others to understand how we can help you, because you're right. Once the big companies come into this, people won't realize the potential that we're given right now. It's so huge, and that's why you guys are so important. So I saw you. Yeah, so whoever chime in.
I was just going to say it's a shame because we don't really see actually how big it is at this point. There's a lot of people taking advantage of it and doing it. Bagman has created whole new ecosystems. He's got a Rich Duck ecosystem. He's got lots of cool stuff going on. He did a lot of early music NFTs. I remember when Niall started with IMUTV. Even before that, he did the NFT, the music NFTs, and he would do remember that? He would do the battles. And so he would do the battles. This is before Rob came on. Yep. He would do the battles, man. Everybody get it. I remember E4 coming in there. He put his music in there, and I'd listen and stuff. We'd vote on Twitter, and I remember that. I think that MoonManT is the closest to people like Bagman, MoonManT, MoonManT. You guys are the closest to utilizing what it will this opportunity right now, but it's one of those things where we won't see it until not we, but unfortunately most of us won't see it until these giant corporations come in, swoop it up. But here's the thing though, you'll still have the same opportunity because it's Web3. Anybody can get on blockchain. Anybody could create an MP3 NFT. Anybody could create, they could do that. Well, the marketplaces are where it matters. So if you create your own marketplace, your music marketplace, like IMUTB, and then some of these Sonar Muse and stuff like that, bro, that's where it's at. And so that's where it's at. So that's what I think as far as monetizing your own creative artistic efforts and putting it out there. That's where it's at this point. But it's going to be sad though. A lot of people are going to miss it because they don't understand. They think it's a cartoon, clown world. It's cartoon. What the magical internet, stupid fake money. Nobody cares. And that's the sad part, is that nobody cares. They're starting to care.
But that is sad.
It's
but at the
I'm
same
saying
time,
in mass. I mean in mass,
Yeah.
Everybody.
And that's what I'm responding. It is sad, but even when Bitcoin came out and Bitcoin when it did its thing, man, nobody was paying attention. If you think about the .com boom, nobody was paying attention or had access, man. So as much as we want everybody to win in this space and see this opportunity, the world it just doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're just grateful that we're
not to be humdrum, but yeah.
It's a mirror. I think it's not everybody has the same level of awareness or level of consciousness. We can have a conversation amongst each other and have that level of awareness, but as soon as you speak to somebody that's at a lower level, they can't compute it. They can't download the data that you're trying to put into them. So it's the same thing with the crypto community. And I think that whatever level of consciousness you're on is going to be mirrored in all of your life. So the financial portion of it, that's the crypto portion of it. The spiritual portion, well, that's your belief in whatever, so we're witnessing a divide that I'm trying to tell you, there's a divide between those who get it and those who don't, and you can see it on every level of our reality.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, guys, though, here's my hope. And this is why, shout out to imutv.tv.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know about them, please watch them, subscribe to them, imutv.tv. This is why I think projects like theirs are so important. And projects like TextRP that are doing private messaging and bringing all your messages in. So here's what I know, being a music person myself, although I've been so busy that I haven't been able to listen to as much music because I'm listening to stuff trying to learn. And so, that part of my life is kind of stifled at the moment. But what I do know is about the young people in particular, they almost reject the mainstream artistry that those of us that grew up in the 70s and 80s, 90s were just fed. This is the best. This is who you're going to listen to. You're listening to the radio, right? We taped the radio with our tape recorder so we could listen to the songs because we couldn't afford to buy the albums, all this kind of stuff. Then when playlist.com came out and some of these other things, right? All of a sudden, a whole world of artists came out, people you've never heard of before that are like 1,000 times more talented than the mainstream people you hear on the radio, right? Now, my theory is this, like what IMUTV is doing, and it's huge, guys, all these independent artists, so powerful, getting on IMUTV, creating their own videos, putting their own music out there, getting paid. They're going to get paid. They're not going to get people taking their money. You create a similar platform or an extension of IMUTV, like a playlist.com or whatever, like a Spotify, where artists are actually going to be able to make money. Like what Elon Musk, you guys have mentioned Elon Musk and Jack from X and all these things. They're starting to incorporate, Elon Musk back in the day, he was the one, talking about money, e-money, all these things. Eventually, the whole streaming and getting paid at the same, all of that's coming. And so my theory is, while yes, the average person that don't have the eyes to see, you just might be able to get them because they reject the mainstream so much. They don't watch mainstream news. They don't listen to the radio. They don't want anything to do with that. And if you can tell them now, you can have a connection with the artist directly. I bought this dude's NFT. We're connected now intimately, like, one-on-one. I bought it through you, not a company. I think that's going to resonate with the population bigly. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, even as a fan of art, because I'm a big art collector on XRPL and otherwise, as a fan of art, like, I like the fact that I got this in my wallet and I'm connected to you, and I can't wait for the next time you say something on Twitter when you're talking about the project. It's intimate. Exactly. It's family, right? And you don't get that. They didn't have that with Pablo Picasso or Basquiat. There was no relationship in that way. And I guess that's a part of the mystery. But overall, the fans really want to know you. They want to know who you are. You can keep your air of mystery, but at the same time, when you do buy these NFTs, you do feel connected to the artist for sure.
Man,
it's kind of going to be sad. It's going to be sad once the mainstream artists that are already popular through the machine, once they go, when they go full like NFT, and it's going to seem so fake. Because if you
I don't know, Buster or Berserker, because here's the deal. Right now, in my opinion, they're kind of lifted up, right? Just like we always talk about it on Twitter or X or wherever these platforms where somebody looks like they have 50,000 followers, and then you find out they're all bots. Most of these artists are like that as well. You got the big dollars, you got them on TV, they're put out there, they're promoted, the people buy their albums because they've cornered the market and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's true. They are going to maybe initially start getting it, but people might not when this whole thing opens up to them even more and they realize, I don't know if they're gonna win. Like I already see them like on social media and stuff.
Yeah, they're down.
They're kind of down, aren't they? Like people are rejecting them left and right, and it's really kind of comical to watch it go down, to be honest with you.
They're bound also by contracts too. We got to remember these people are they're signed to major record labels. Unless the labels themselves come in and try to get into the blockchain, the artists themselves are not going to have the power within just contractually to be able to do anything individually. That's why there's only been a few, like a Snoop Dogg or a him to actually come into the blockchain. Why wouldn't all these artists do it? They can't. I'm signed to this label.
Wow. That's a good point. That's interesting. I've never heard that.
50, we're winning. We're going to win because the Most High, the universe said, hey, we're not going to get you signed to these labels. Why would we do that when we have Web3 coming in about 10 years, right? And that's what I feel like everything happens for a reason. And for artists like myself, Spiffy, Bags, we are about to benefit in ways that I'm talking about millions of dollars for these independent artists. We deserve it. And if you're going to do deals with us, it has to be a deal that benefits me. So, man, it's game time.
Yeah, I'm finna start back rapping. He said millions of dollars coming down, play.
I want to welcome Shueyb back. Thank you for coming back.
Nice to meet you.
Shueyb, I've said it wrong. Shueyb. Oh, he's muted. I don't know if I did that to you. I hope I didn't. Let me try to do it. Unmute it. Let's see. Mute, unmute. I've got you unmuted, so maybe you unmute yourself. I think I screwed up by muting you. Can you? Oh, darn it.
Still silent.
Let's see. Sorry, I feel terrible. I usually don't do that. Now let's see. Can you do it? No, he can't.
It may not be. It may be like a refresh issue.
It might. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was showing that I unmuted it. We've got these new fancy tools now, BRZRKR and StreamYard, and I could do it. I could raise people's volumes and all of that. And so I was trying to do it. Yeah. So sorry about that. Here we got him back. Let's see. There he goes. Are you there? Can we hear you? Can't hear you. Shoot. Still can't. I wonder why he's not.
It might be because he's on mobile.
He shows muted for me, but I don't. It's not. I can't unmute him, so he's got himself muted somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you.
Darn it! I wonder. I don't know how to. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. Wait, can I do this? Nope. I'm trying to unmute it and it's not working. Maybe try to see if you can unmute yourself somehow. Because it's not coming back. It's not coming in. Darn it. Nope. Darn it. It says he's in there, but I don't know.
I was listening earlier. That was pretty impressive. Really, really nice, positive person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and he wrote a book. He wrote a book. And what I see is like it's huge. Writing a book about crypto, teaching the children about it. It's going to get them asking those questions, and eventually he can get his works tokenized. And one of the things I wanted to touch with him on is he's kind of bridging the old system with the new system, which is exactly what the financial system, the transition that it's going through right now. We're kind of in the middle, right? We're kind of starting to bridge over, transition over. There he is.
Hey.
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. No, it was a settings issue. I guess somehow the volume was all the way in the bottom, so I had to go through this app, the Crypto Constellation. I guess through the platform, I had to turn on the mic all the way.
Ah, Have you been able to hear what we've been talking about?
Yes.
Do you have anything to add?
Yes, and I'm sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties, so I dropped off for a little bit,
No worries.
but
No worries.
I was able to. Yeah, great. No, great conversation. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been it's been what a ride. I'm telling you, this crypto Web3 industry, like 3 years is like 3 decades. It feels like it. But the thing is, because you never know, decades can happen within months. That's how fast we're moving right now. So especially where we're at, and it's amazing. And I think everybody's story, like how you guys got into crypto and into Web3 and specifically XRPL, right? I really do feel that we were all brought here for a bigger purpose. It's just it's interesting. Everybody thinks that, everybody feels that we were like kind of pulled into this community, into this network, and into this this token. It's pretty amazing. And I really feel that there is definitely a shift going on, and I think God is deciding where this wealth transfer is going to go. There's going to be tremendous wealth transfer, something that we haven't never seen in our lifetimes in the last 1,000 years even. I think that's what somebody was saying. President of or Prime Minister of Japan or something said that. It's like, this is it's a very rare opportunity you're going to get. So and we're part of it, right? The XRPL, XRP, and Ripple. And I forget, I think it was Marvin was saying it, like, when the XRP was in the lawsuit, that's when, a lot of people jumped in. They're like, there's something really special about this, especially if like the elites are kind of holding it back, there's pressure on it, then there's something about it that we're not seeing, So you definitely want to invest in stuff like this early. So I started in 2020. BRZRK was saying, we started around the same time where we actually got our feet wet. And I was never really involved with the community in like buying and selling and all that, like through at least a wallet like MetaMask that I did. I did hear about crypto back in the day, but my ethical compass was so high at the time. I did research on what it was being used for, like Bitcoin and all that. I wasn't looking at the technology. I was just looking at where is my money most likely going, right? And I was right. We were right when we had that kind of like the ethical compass hit. Because I was reading all these articles about they're using it for assassinations, trafficking, and all that. Like money laundering. But I wasn't looking at the technology. I was just looking at what if my money is kind of tainted, right? It's being used for this. Obviously, I wasn't looking at the bigger picture then, right? So I didn't really, see the technology behind it. But years later, I kind of it clicked, and I think it was after I got my wallet drained, and when I researched back again, and I got in. Truly, I got back in 2023. And then I found a home in 2024 within the H Suite, which is Hub Suite now. That they have revolutionized like programmability, smart nodes, which are basically alternative to smart contracts. And then that's how basically journey started. But now I'm part of the XRPL with X on XRP. So we're the Alpha Wolves. You've probably seen the NFTs on X, the Alpha Wolves NFTs. So that's the community I'm part of. But yeah, as far as the book goes, I'm telling you guys, this is the way how you were going to onboard the masses. And this is one aspect of it, right? Because children, right, they'll fall in love with our characters, with our XRPL. You have, the Farmers Union, you have the Alpha Wolves, you have X emojis. And, the thing is, they have a similar vision about educating, about onboarding, and just kind of teaching people about blockchain technology. When I met with Uga Tiger, I had a call with him, and it's very inspirational what he's doing. And honestly, I felt that. I felt that he wants to educate the children and teach them about blockchain technology, how they can actually kind of go through it in a very safe manner in the future, right? Once they get adults, because this whether we like it or not, this is going to be their world, right? The whole world's going to encompass around this technology. And they got to get their feet wet early, and it'll be only beneficial to them, right? So as far as like the book goes, and I don't think we got into the details on this, the publisher of our book is Project X Suite. So Project X Suite, oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, this is your life is an ocean, this is a quote that was actually inspired by Stone. you know, and you
Oh,
have to make
really?
good choices. Yeah, because you know you're gonna make good choices from within, right? So that's what we want to encourage every person. Every person is reading the book, and so this is a little bit of an acknowledgement here that you see and the inspiration where this book inspired, how it inspired me, and honestly, it has to do with the team. And you know, I'm actually part of the Treasury Committee for as well for Hub Suite, and they're actually coming into bringing their technology onto the XRPL very soon here. So they're porting over their technology. It's already built. It's already live on Hedera, and it was just everything just came together perfectly because I knew them then in on Hedera, and then as I kind of ventured into XRPL, found a family here in the community, especially with the Alpha Wolves. Everybody, we're a part of the team there too, and just we all see eye to eye. We all have the same vision, same purpose, and it's just I mean, relationships that we find, in our lives, I feel that everything it has a purpose to it, man, and God has a big hand in it, like who you're gonna meet and who you're gonna have a close relationship with. All that He puts it all together. We could not have planned this, man. No human could
No
have planned
way.
this the way it went, So yeah.
I got to give a shout out there. If anybody recognizes that character that I'm circling, that's Miss Optimistic Prime Amanda with her wandering footprint. That's part of this book, and I think it is so doggone cool.
What is that?
That you
Butt
have her,
blue umbrella token.
the blue
Let's go.
umbrella
Yes.
token. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, super
And there's going to be a
cool.
beautiful story because what happens is towards the end of chapter 2, King Shirar, he goes back into his world. Well, quote unquote, he's going back into the kingdom of Hedera. However, what happens is there's a disturbance in the energy field where the X stones that are powering the portal, they actually break free. So there's actual disturbance within the frequency in the energy portal, and King Shirar ends up in a different world. He ends up in the wandering footprint. So that's where the next story can continue. So we're keeping it like kind of open. So
So
just
cool.
imagine, you got to keep the imagination going. And we're
That's
building
dope.
the world, right? You can build, and this is what I tell people. I'm like, you can like build the world that you want, right? And for especially with this kingdom of Hedera, with King Shivar's kingdom and the wandering footprint, really we're trying to build like heaven, like kind of like
Heaven on earth.
heaven on earth, right, for the kids, so they can actually picture it, and they can we want to bring it to life now in this world. Because if you can live in this world like heaven on earth, then obviously where is your destination? It's going to be in heaven, right? You're basically kind of reflecting. You're it's like a preview, right? So your preview of your next life, kind of. So and honestly, we can make that in this world. So, and that's what we want to build for the kids. So,
Mr.
and for
Khan,
us.
we need 1,000 more of those. We need 1,000 more of you. Let's go.
No,
We need
we have
100,000 more of you.
we have them. It's like four others are right here on stage, and then we have so many others on the chat. I mean, we're here, and we're making it happen together. So I really feel that, and I'm telling you, I'm more of an energy guy, and I feel that energy from you guys, and I know that we're going to do it.
Likewise.
Beautiful.
I wanted to share also for those of you who don't know the MoonManT on his profile. He has a link tree that has a whole bunch of different stuff. But if you click on it, it's going to verify that I'm human. Got it. Safety first, guys. But he has some collections on XRP Cafe. And what else does he have here? You got the covers, Blame It on Kanye, Tune FM, Freedom for Music.
Let me give him a quick rundown of what it really, really quickly.
Yeah.
The covers is my album covers throughout my career, that 95% of them that I created myself. That's like your gateway into the music. So if you buy a one of one, you'll get a free NFT anytime I drop it. So, but the one of ones are obviously going to be more. They're about 50 XRP for those. But the regular ones are like 1 of 5s and things like that. This is your gateway into the music, and all the other music is on there as well. Blame It on Kanye, which I did a collaboration with Mohica. I did a collaboration with Poehead as well. Just a bunch of different things that are there. Also, I'm on H-Bar too. So like when you were Mr. Khan, when you were speaking about H-Bar, I was like, yeah, H-Bar. My music's on H-Bar as well on what is it called? Tune.fm. And that is my TikTok. That is where I go live and talk about the nature of reality, quantum physics, multidimensional travel, and extraterrestrials. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's fire.
It is. You guys, I'm going to post this link to his link tree because there's so many. You got to check him out. I always go in whenever I have people on the show and try to learn as much as I can in a short amount of time about someone. And I just have to say, like, you got a lot going on. These people they've been in this space for a while and they've just been working. Kristen Deck said H-Bar did outperform XRP earlier this year. Huh? Bringing the fire.
Are you a barbarian, Kristen?
She is
an
Lady
H-barbarian.
K. Yeah, she is yeah. Well, I had the hardest time saying that too. When I was going to read it, I was like, I don't even know. I was saying Shueyb Barbarian or whatever. And I was like, barbarian. Like I just could not say it at all. Yeah, it was really difficult.
Queen Shueyb Barbarian.
Queen Shueyb Barbarian.
That's
exactly.
Beautiful. Yeah, H-Bar is a winner for sure. All boats float for sure.
What else, guys? I wanted to share, just kind of giving a little bit of, let's get that, where you can find BRZRKR with on Uncle Buster's channel with the boardroom and the coffee time. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, it's Uncle Buster XRP. It's not, crypto ain't for sissies, guys.
There's a lot of adult
there's adult
content.
Language. Yes,
yeah,
there's adult language.
A lot of adult language, so be warned. But it's entertaining.
It's spirited conversation. And I wanted to bring something up on the show here. And we have about 5 minutes. I want to say, everyone, I put the link to the Dipito After Dark space. The show continues at 10:10 on Spaces on X. If you want to come and join the conversation, it would sure be awesome if you did. But I watched your show the other day, and there was a fella in the chat, and you guys kind of got a little stern with him regarding, and I think this is a good closing conversation. With your best tip that all of you have for people that are dipping their toe into this space. But what this gentleman was doing is, number one, he had his real name as his YouTube handle, and number two, he was telling everybody how much he had in his bags, how much crypto he held. And anybody want to take a stab at why you don't want to do that?
Are you talking about the last night, or was it last night? Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
Or was it yeah. I remember that. Yeah, it was on XRP Boardroom, the second show that we do. They're very similar shows. We just do two of them. One of them on Sunday is called Coffee Time, and the other one on Tuesday night is XRP Boardroom. But yeah, I remember that. He had also talked about his profession too. So it's like all these
personal information,
the data points for somebody who's getting online, getting into this. I would say be careful. I really got into the guy, so it gets really rough. The show, if you haven't watched the show and you're watching Dipito right now, if you guys jump over there and you watch it, it gets real rough. But if you can get past it,
Fight Club rules.
It's like Fight Club, yeah. But we all kind of just just vomit at the mouth, and it's probably one of the most entertaining things you can do in the crypto space. We talk about red pill, we talk about woo woo, we talk about all kind of stuff. There's a lot of people go black pill. A lot of I tend to go black pill. I have been for a couple of years now. Not necessarily doom and gloom grim, but like the possibilities that maybe things aren't as great as we think they are, or maybe we are going into a future that's great and fantastic, but a certain swath of the population will not experience that because they're not in crypto, because they don't have a lifeboat, so to speak. So I don't know, but yeah, no, those points for somebody who's new, just be careful about your identity and stuff, because I don't believe that these people that share that information,
they don't know any better.
They don't know any better. And I think where it comes from is that they don't believe what we know this is. We know that this is astronomical, life-changing wealth coming. Like absolute life-changing wealth. I think we all know that here on this screen. And so because of that,
my real name is Marvin Davis. I'm not afraid of my blessing. The blessing that God me. Straight up. I'm not afraid of it, but I'm not going to tell you what my bags are. That makes you a target. It's not smart. It's braggadocious. And most people back in the day, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, people were looking for folks like you to rob because most of you are easy targets, right? Soft targets. So I mean, learn some self-defense. Have a plan. Have hey, this is a crazy world we in, right? But don't be afraid of the times that we're in either. You get what I'm saying? But be respectful, be responsible, and most of all, keep if you wouldn't tell me what was in your bank account, don't tell me what's in your crypto account, because guess what? Your crypto account is your bank account. It's just that simple.
Exactly.
I'll tell you by experience running a show on YouTube, and it's steadily getting better and better, bigger, more viewers. I've experienced multiple people that have paid attention to every little idiosyncrasy, every little mannerism, every little thing you say. All of a sudden, that same person that was on that one show where I said my, maybe dox my first name or something like that, all of a sudden 2 weeks later, on 5 shows later, they're coming out in the chat like, "What's up, blah blah blah? How you doing, blah blah blah?" And you're like, "Whoa, that's creepy, creepazoid stuff." So just be careful, because people do listen to every little bit.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. Sorry. No, I was just going to say, very, very good point in the fact that we've watched Bitcoin go from nothing to $1 to $5 to $100 to $1,000 to $100,000, right? We have the benefit of history of watching that unfold. We understand what we hold. And so if you had even 10 Bitcoins in your wallet, would you go around telling people you got 10 Bitcoins in your wallet? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. And so, it is the experience, the inexperience of it. And it's just like, just slow your roll, recognize where you're at. And, there's a lot of people that don't realize, putting your full name as your username is probably not the best idea. Now, Marvin, I totally respect, you know what you're doing. You got a little bit different deal, but not everybody does, right? Not everybody does. Shueyb, you're an author, you're professional. You're not out there telling everybody your business though, right? You know what I mean? Like, we have to move in a different way. I'm Melissa. Everybody knows, I have this show, MoonManT. I'm sure people know who you are. You were a twin. You're famous because of, being the first the most successful art on Ethereum, for crying out loud. But the average person, I think you really need to be careful with that. Yeah. So
those are wise words, Melissa. That's cool. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a huge deal,
It really is.
Talk about that, but not, like I said, not to be negative or anything. I don't
be negative.
No, not at all. I think it's just designed to, maybe make the new person think, hey, we've been around the block here. Everybody on this show right now has been around the block, and it's important, especially since we got massive FOMO coming. At least I believe. We got so much FOMO. So many newbies are going to rush into this space. You think YouTube's just going to turn off? No. All those people are going to come flocking to the channels that we're all on. It's going to be nutty.
I say this, guys. Let's say we've got 4 minutes left. That'll give us a minute or so to be able to have so I can make my 2-hour deadline. let's talk about the FOMO that's about ready to roll in, that's about ready to rock in here. I want your comments on that, and I want to know, like, I just shared your stuff. I tried to put the links in the comments. But if you have anything else that you want the audience to know, go ahead and add that into. So let's go around the room. MoonManT, Marvin, Shueyb, and BRZRKR.
I mean, I think we're in a time right now. I think it's quicker than we think. A completely new financial system. It's as simple as that. There's no other way to put it. The theatrics that the government's doing is clearly theater, and we see it, we know it, and we're comfortable with it because we're comfortable where we're at in regards to crypto. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I think that there's going to be a hell of a lot of FOMO, and I wanted to touch on really quickly that there's no real guard. There hasn't been any real guardrails in crypto. That's why people are easily scammed. Like, you're coming in and you're thinking it's all good. You're putting your money here, you're listening to hype, and you don't want to do that. You want to have discernment. You want to, use your intuition, but also use logic. But the FOMO is about to be insane. This is about to be on a level that we've never seen before. And I was here. Trust me. I got dunked on when the case dropped, right? I was there. So I've seen all of it. This is going to dwarf that. I can't even tell you how much by, not financial advice, but you're going to be happy people.
Yep.
Newbies.
X-Lloyd has no crypto.
Not your keys. Not your crypto.
Oh, yeah. Trump went to UK and made sure London was ready. What? Where'd you go, Marvin? Oh, who disappeared?
Find a mentor. And do your own research, do your own due diligence, and find a solid foundation for yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking. Go do the research for yourself so you understand what you're putting your money into. Don't worry about what somebody else is putting their money into. You're worrying about somebody else's blessing. Worry about your own. You're gonna miss your blessing worrying about somebody else's. Stop worrying about what's in somebody else's pocket and try to fill yours. And then try to figure out how you're gonna use what's in your pocket to help somebody else. So that's all I got to say to y'all, man. Salute.
Wise words, Marvin Davis. Shueyb?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. The FOMO is going to be insane. Something that I think David Shorts was talking about, like how the AMM pools work with some of the meme tokens or meme projects that are building, and it's in the fact that they're actually, kind of not directly promoting it, but you saw him changing his like PFP, and I really feel okay. So XRP, holding just XRP is great, right? It's generational wealth, but if you really want that risk to reward, and you're part of like the AMM's pools where you actually put your XRP into some of these projects that are building their pools, then this could be astronomical, the kind of gain that you can experience, like craziness, like, right? So I would definitely recommend taking a look at some of the XRPL projects, the ones that are like strong, that that they're not rugs, they're actually building something. And that's no financial advice, but definitely if you're like want to do a little higher risk for a little higher reward, then that's definitely somewhere to invest in. So yeah, I mean, personally, that's how I got into the XRPL space when the whole meme space started back in September, November. And definitely I saw so much potential, in it. And XRPL has a lore, like the founders, like Brad, and, they're all like kind of, in a mysterious way involved, right? And they support the community. They support like the XRPL and the projects that are building, because honestly, that's how they're building for the future. You see they're like meme tokens, but they're actually, I like to call them like future startups, or like they're startups now, but they're building the future because they're building the XRPL. So definitely something to look into. I mean, some of the strong projects that are building for sure. But I see some crazy FOMO happening real soon here. So I think we all feel it, right, guys? I mean,
Pretty exciting.
It's like the consciousness, man.
But what is FOMO though? What does FOMO stand for?
Fear of missing out. But it won't be FOMO for us. It'll be FOMO for those who are not right now in, right? So the true FOMO is going to be from the outside coming in, right? Yeah, it's going to be wild for sure.
Well, guys, we've got 1 minute left. I just want before Berserker goes, I want to say thank you to Crypto Glamma and Uncle Buster and XR Papa for supporting Dipito. You guys are fantastic. There's 389 people watching the Dipito show this evening. There is no show without you. We love you so much. Simon's going to be back next week. We love you guys. You guys are fantastic. This has been a great show. What do you say, Uncle Buster? What do you say as far as the FOMO coming in?
I'm gonna weep like a baby.
Huh?
When it starts, I'm gonna weep. I'm gonna cry like a baby. It's gonna be such an emotional whirlwind of a release and years of. It's almost like working super hard, burning the midnight oil, burning both ends of the candle to get like a degree or something like that. It's going to be a big deal, and to realize that we don't have to work ever again, and to realize these like life-changing things are coming, on top of simultaneously having to pay more attention to YouTube. It's going to be nutty because I can't just drop the ball. Buster won't let me. Buster won't let me, bro. Can't just drop the ball and be like, later, ghost. No, hell no. We owe it to everybody to ride this wave, this massive tsunami wave of FOMO people trying to find out more information about XRP. And where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go to YouTube University, and they're going to find all of us. So that's what I think, and I'm gonna be crying, but it's going to be. I like to use the analogy pub crawl. You guys ever heard of a pub crawl? I don't know if you drink or not. I don't drink, but I've heard of pub crawls. So a pub crawl is where you got multiple involved pubs or bars where they're throwing a special, like you get a drink special or something, or it's an occasion, it's a holiday like Halloween or something, and they're in a little town with multiple bars or having a pub crawl. And essentially, I view the YouTube channels that are XRP centric are literally gonna, if you go live and you're open for business, you're going live and you're staying live, every single FOMO newbie is gonna visit and visit and visit and visit and just make their rounds, because it's gonna be 24/7. These like YouTubes, I would say for the first week, hardcore, just 24/7
Get ready, kids.
It's gonna be nuts. And simultaneously, I'll be quitting my job and quitting. Like all these things will happen right at once. You know what I mean? As soon as we start seeing these bigger numbers,
It'll be a flip the switch. It's gonna flip the switch for us for sure.
Flip it.
We're gonna flip it. We're gonna flip it. Well, guys, I have to shut her down because I'm already went over my 2 hour slot. Sorry, I am UTV. But we are going to have the after space at 10:10 Eastern on X. I would love for you guys to come. Want to shout out MoonManT. I think he had to leave. We love you. You did a fantastic job. Thank you for coming to the Dipito Show. All you gentlemen, it's been fantastic talking with you. Thank you so much for spending your time with the Dipito Show audience. And with that, I wish you a good evening and hope you come back on the show.
Beautiful.
Talk to you guys later.
Thank
Bye,
you. Good
guys.
night.